Hi, and welcome to episode number 56 of the weekly Google Cloud Platform podcast. I am Francesc, and I'm here with my colleague, Mark Mandel. Hey, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little sad. It's the last episode of the year.
I'm also super sad. I'm actually kind of looking forward to a little bit of a break, but it's gonna be sad not to get to talk to you for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be really sad. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss everyone. It's just gonna be sad.
Yeah, and we know when we're coming back already. So just so you know, we will be back. Soon.
January 18th, I believe, is the date we've agreed upon.
January 18th, which is also a Wednesday. In the meanwhile, you can listen to previous episodes if you want to. But today we do have an episode. Today is our last episode, and we decided to make it a little bit special. So we called the episode A Year in Review. And that's pretty much what we're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to talk through all the kind of things we talked about, pick out some of our favorite episodes, some of our favorite cool things of the week. And
favorite lunches, like what happened in 2016 that is worth mentioning today.
I thought you said lunches and not launches.
We can also talk about that.
Yeah, I've had some really good lunches.
Yeah. We have very good food at the Google office.
Yep.
But before that, we have the cool thing of the week, the last cool thing of the week of the year.
Things.
The cool things?
There's
multiple. 2 lines. There's actually the last.
There's 3.
The 3? Oh my God. Okay, so there's 3 of them. That's why you add blank lines in the show notes so we can actually follow. But so there's 3 of them, and they're the 3 last ones of the year. So I hope they're worth it. The first one is, I'm going to let you talk about it because I know you're very excited about it.
I am. So I think this is pretty exciting. Everyone knows I'm well into games. We have partnered with a company called Improbable. Basically, you can think of that as a massively multiplayer online game as a service. So if you're looking to build a massively multiplayer game online or a large-scale simulation or virtual world, any sort of games in that sort of aspect, we've partnered with them and such that they have a program as well for people to use their platform for a heavily subsidized amount, which is super, super cool. So they run on us and we provide that power to them and they provide that power to you. It's super, super cool. The company name is Improbable. They have a product named Spatial OS, and the partnership literally just got announced right now, which is pretty awesome.
It looks really cool. All the images I'm seeing in the videos, they look like something I would play. So I'm very excited about seeing all the new games and new companies that are going to be joining this effort and making new cool things on the Google Cloud Platform.
Yeah. And then as well as that, we have the new Google Cloud client libraries for 4 key services, which I thought were pretty cool. It looks like we've basically been building these client libraries as the libraries that people can use for all the languages we support, for all the services that we have on Google Cloud.
And there's, you said there's 4 of them. So there is BigQuery, Google Cloud Data Store, Stackdriver Logging, and Google Cloud Storage. And they are available for 7 languages. So I'm going to start with Go, obviously. And I'll leave Java for the end. Now, so we have Go, Java, C#, Node.js, PHP, Python, and Ruby.
Yeah. And I think what's really cool about these 2 is each library is very idiomatic to the language. Yeah. So if you're using these libraries, it's not like, oh, this is obviously a Go thing who was written by a Java programmer. No, none of that. It's very much idiomatic to language so that you know that when you go to use the client, it's exactly the same as you would use any other SDK within your ecosystem. Yeah,
on my side, I know that the Go team has been heavily involved with these efforts for the Go libraries. So they look really good. I am very excited about it.
Excellent. And finally, pretty exciting, Kubernetes 1.5 literally just released. It's really what is going on? It's the end of the year. So much stuff is happening.
I guess that there's a production freeze and we cannot put things on production. Instead, we just do open source stuff. I don't know. But so much cool stuff going on. Yep.
So Kubernetes 1.5, a huge number of major themes around stateful sets or pet sets, improved federation support, more simplified cluster deployment, which is great. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a tradition that we've always done an episode every single time there's a new version of Kubernetes. And maybe next year we should start with that.
Absolutely. We should definitely have someone to talk about that.
Cool. So I guess it's time to go with the main content. And the plan is we're going to start talking about the 2016 episodes. And we're going to be talking about the most downloaded episodes and then our personal favorite episodes, which are not the same. And then at the end, we'll be talking about our favorite cool things of the week, which is kind of a vague term to say all the cool things that happen. So it will be more like themes, what happened, like cool, I'm going to say announcements, because apparently I mispronounced launches.
That's all right. I have an accent too.
Yeah.
I quote unquote mispronounce things all the time, depending on where you come from. I think this is really cool. I think this is something that we can kind of go back and look at what happened at Google Cloud Platform over 2016 and kind of
crazy amount of things.
It's a crazy amount of things, and it really is kind of a year in review of Google Cloud Platform and what it is and what's happened in the last year. I mean, we're not even going to be able to touch on everything, but sort of some of our highlights, which I think is super exciting and really kind of, gives us a little history of what's happened in the past year.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, not that long ago, there were things like GKE was not really a thing.
No.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's totally a thing.
It's totally a thing now. It's absolutely a thing. You were talking about 2016 episodes. So starting there, like, if we go back and we look at the analytics and...
I propose we go backwards from number 5 to number 1.
Oh, I like it.
To make it more exciting.
Make it more exciting, and then we can have like a drum roll and like long pauses like reality TV.
You'll add that on post-production. Okay, so on number 5, we have episode 43, which is gRPC at CoreOS with Brandon Phillips. Love this episode.
Love this episode. Love this tech. Super interesting episode to see how customers using gRPC and how they were able to get like performance benefits out of it. But again, like gRPC, like that's kind of 2016. I think like that's
that is
really
totally new thing, and people are very, very excited about the new tech. So
yeah, really seen that, and cross industry, I've seen people using that. I think it's a really interesting piece of technology.
Yeah. Number 4, we have episode 37, GKE 1.3, so 2 versions ago, with Carter Morgan.
Yeah, love this. Love this also because Carter Morgan is now a developer advocate. He's part of developer advocacy team.
Yes.
So
he got on the podcast, and since then he could not stop talking.
Pretty much. So I expect people will be seeing him around and about. But any podcast about like Kubernetes or container engine.
Yeah, GKE and Kubernetes have been a pretty successful theme over the year. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything about container orchestration and management has been huge.
Yeah. Number 3, it's another open source project that it is also incredibly successful. TensorFlow. Episode 31, TensorFlow with Eli Bixby.
Yeah, another great episode. TensorFlow makes my head hurt, but is super, super cool. And Eli gets it to a huge degree. I mean, like, actually, it's kind of interesting. You look at it, like, out of the top 5, well, actually, technically 4, and we'll go back to it, but 4 of them are open source work inside Google. And given the history of open source at Google and like how we used to do things and how we do things now, it's pretty amazing to see the sort of success we've had across the board.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing that we're open sourcing as much technology as we can. I'm very excited about in 2017 and see what we're gonna be open sourcing.
Yeah, I think we're on a good thing. The way we manage open source products, the way we build communities, the way that I think we kind of release it and sort of let go of it in a lot of ways as well is really huge. It makes me very excited about the future of open source at Google.
Yeah, and my favorite piece of my favorite moment of TensorFlow episode was when Eli explained what a tensor was, and I understood it, and it was like, that is new. Yeah. I never thought I thought it was too hard. It's like monads, you know.
Everything comes back to Haskell.
Yeah. So on number 2, we have number 44, Cloud Endpoints with Dan Ciroli and Seper Ebrahimzadeh. And I'm very, very happy with this episode being so successful because I've been talking lately a lot about Cloud Endpoints. I'm working on a bunch of videos and, we're going to be launching it's going to be becoming GA sometime soon. And it's a lot of really cool things coming on Cloud Endpoints.
It's interesting. So I personally, because I don't sit in that microservices space so much, didn't see this one coming. It was a bit of a surprise for me.
Yeah, but it went crazy. Crazy amount of
done
people.
really well. And I suppose that makes sense, right? Like, generally, a lot of people are building APIs. You can't really get away from that in some way, shape, or form. So,
yeah, if you can APIs, if you can microservices, you have Cloud Endpoints, and you also have GKE, which is used for Cloud Endpoints for microservices, and also gRPC. So, out of the 5, 4.
That's fair. Yeah,
I said 4. I kind of told what the number 1 is now.
But we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. So yeah, and it might also be because Dan and Seper are such cool people.
Absolutely. Number 1.
That's
our drum roll. That's our drum roll.
Very sad drum roll. low budget. And yeah, number one, I'm gonna let you say it because I know you're so in love
So
with
number
this
one,
episode.
number one has two of my favorite things in it: Kubernetes, obviously, and John Wilkes.
Yeah, that was episode 46, Borg and Kubernetes with John Wilkes. I mean, what can I say?
It's John Wilkes. So if you haven't listened to this episode, please go back to this episode. It is super, super interesting. John talks us through how Borg works internally at Google. My favorite thing is when he talks about building systems for failure, right? Expecting that things are going to fail, and with that expectation, building systems to make sure they stay healthy and they stay up. And basically how Kubernetes came out of those lessons learned from Borg. It's like John's one of my all-time favorite people in tech. And so I was super, super happy and super privileged and super honored to just sit in a room and chat with him.
I gotta say, he's awesome.
He is.
So yeah, I've had so much fun recording that episode, and every single time I listen to it again, it's like, that was so much fun.
That was so good.
So maybe we said we would interview him again sometime. So maybe 2017.
Yeah. No, I've already got a reminder in the calendar.
Okay, so that was according to the people's choice.
Yeah.
What about our top choice?
Yep. So my number 3, I picked out episode 52, a recent one, the Google Developer Expert Summit.
That was fun.
That was fun. I love talking to our GDEs. They're amazing. If you don't know the Google Developer Expert Program, it's external people from the community that we sort of highlight and add to a program. They get a lot of benefits. They get to come to us and talk to us and cool stuff.
Yep.
You should totally listen to that episode because it's really awesome to see the community outside of Google that really appreciate the products we do and like to talk about the products we do. And, if there's one in your area, you could talk to them about it.
Yep. My favorite, my number 3 episode is actually something we've talked about, which is episode 43, gRPC at CoreOS with Brandon Phillips. I thought it was very interesting because he was covering some open source project that it was not built by Google, which is etcd and many of the things that CoreOS does, and how gRPC helped them move from JSON to gRPC and why they did this and all the different performance gains they had. It was very interesting. And also Brandon Phillips is a very good communicator. So I thought I learned a lot, and I think that is a very good, interesting, very good episode. If you're interested in gRPC, go check it out. It's number 43.
It's actually cool because it's kind of full circle. Like Kubernetes uses etcd. etcd now uses gRPC.
Yeah.
Like one thing layer goes into another, which goes into another.
It's the magic of open source.
Yeah. Cool. So my number 2, I had to do something that at least touched on games because games fun. I thought this was a particularly cool one. Episode 23, if anyone's bought games through Humble Bundle, we had one of their teammates there, Andy Oxfeld, who had come to speak to us about that. My particular love for this is that they ran on App Engine, and the big thing for me was how they talked about how the scale that they got, like the immediate spike of traffic that they received at the site for people coming to buy games wouldn't have been possible if they had gone with just about any other platform because of the way we can scale at App Engine.
Yeah, it is. It was a very fun episode, and also it's like the perfect use case for App Engine, really. Because they have like a huge peak of traffic, and then the rest is like not that much. So if you were running on premise, you could need like 10 times more, maybe. I don't know how many times more machines you need to have just to handle that given traffic.
And then what would you do with those machines?
Yep. I don't know, play games or something.
So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is episode 38, and it's with one of my favorite people, Paul Newson. So we did this episode, Site Reliability Engineering, with Paul Newson. And it is very interesting because he tells us about how Google does SRE, Site Reliability Engineering. And it's an amazing thing. Like talking about SLOs and SLAs and how you don't want to have like 100% availability because it's a bad idea. And if you reach that, you're actually missing out on the opportunity of experimenting more and stuff like that. And it's something that I feel like more people should know about it. I was reading the SRE book.
The book is fantastic.
By the way, we got for free because we got our offsite last week, and we got every single one of the people in the team got one, and it's an amazing book. Love it. And yeah, he puts it in such a nice way that I love that episode.
I love that episode too. If you're into ops or monitoring or any of that kind of stuff, definitely have a listen. It is so worth it, and definitely get the book. The book is fantastic.
Yeah, the book is really, really good. So okay, it's time for your number 1.
Ooh, my number 1. So I will say I would have said my number 1, Borg and Kubernetes with John Wilkes, but we've already covered that. So I'm gonna pick something else. I'm gonna go with the episode we did with GCP Next Speakers.
Oh, that was fun.
That was loads of fun. So our big premiere conference next, we're doing it again next year. We sat down with a bunch of speakers at the event, talked to them about what they were talking about at Next. And some of them were Googlers, some of them were customers. If you're interested in going to next year, it'd be well worth listening to the episode so that you can get a feel of some of the stuff that probably will be showing and the sort of quality that you can come to expect. It's pretty high quality. It was an amazing event.
Yeah, and I actually feel like maybe we should also mention that in episode 21, we did the amazing demos from GCP Next with Instrument.
That's true as well.
That was a very good episode.
I was really close to putting that on the list, I have to admit.
Yeah, they're kind of continuation of each other. So they're both really good episodes about all the things we talked about about during GCP Next and all the amazing demos they had.
And we were only scratching the surface of the event, even
just
then.
A tiny little bit to give you an idea of what goes on.
Now, your number one, I think, is a huge surprise.
Yeah, it is. It is Node.js with now. I love Justin, but no, it was Node.js. It was not Node.js. It was episode 25. Go on the cloud with Andrew Duran and Chris Broadfoot. It was so much fun. I mean, we talked about tweaking turkeys. Come on.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things about this episode, little peek behind the scenes, we totally did it at the last minute. Andrew was sitting in the office. He was just happened to be in San Francisco. And we're like, oh, we should get Andrew on the podcast. And it was fantastic.
The best part is I think it was one of the first episodes, or at some point I had to stop because we were laughing way too much.
Yep.
So yeah, that was super fun, but also very interesting, talking about all the things about why Go is cool and why Go works so well in the cloud and what you can do with it and what APIs are available and stuff like that. So technically very interesting, but also so much fun.
So much fun. Definitely an episode to listen to if you're interested in Go or you're thinking about using Go and you just want to learn more about the ecosystem and what's available in it.
Or if you want to know what one Catalan sounds when he's speaking with 3 Australians.
yes, there is that as well.
Yeah, that was fun.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that sort of covers our list of episodes. I mean, we could probably talk about episodes for hours and hours on end. Yeah. But why don't we talk about our favorite cool things of the week as kind of a backdrop to all the stuff that's happened inside Google Cloud?
Okay, so the first one I'm going to go with is all the effort that we've done on education. There's a bunch of things we've done, but the fact that we opened CP100As, which is the Google Cloud Platform Foundations, and you can go check it out on cloud.google.com/training. That is awesome. There's a bunch of courses that are really, really good. There's also, you can go pass exams if you want to, but on top of that, if you're a student and you want to use Google Cloud Platform, we also announced the Google Cloud Platform Education Grants. That is helping students use our cloud for free. And so they can learn and they can experiment. And there's a lot of things that they can do. Like if you're a statistics student and you can get to play with things like BigQuery, that is kind of an amazing experience. And then also some Udacity courses. And one of my favorite ones was the Kubernetes class on Udacity. With
some of our favorite people.
2 our teammates now, we can say, Kelsey Hightower and Carter Morgan. So yeah, all the effort in education and also improving our docs and all the effort that we did on basically making our cloud more friendly to beginners. I think it's an amazing effort.
Absolutely. No, there's huge things happening in the education space. So that's pretty awesome. I definitely am a huge fan of the education grants specifically. I think it's great we're getting into colleges. Awesome. So one of my favorite things is just looking at the number of things we made generally available this year.
So many things.
I'm going to miss some. I know I'm going to miss some. But just rattling some off, like Cloud SQL, Bigtable, Cloud Data Store, Router, CDN went live, IIM, so
Identity and Access Management.
Thank you. I totally blanked on that for a minute. Identity and Access Management, that went live. That's also a huge thing. I'm sure I'm missing so many other stuff, but just a huge list of things that went GA this year truly shows, I think, the investment that is going into Google Cloud and the amount of stuff that people have available.
The worst part about this is being a developer advocate, you're supposed to know all of these things.
Yeah, no.
And it keeps on growing and growing.
It keeps growing.
So yeah, it is very good for our customers, not as much for our team.
Yeah,
lots of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go with these are not really ordered in any specific way, but one of my favorite things we talked about was Spotify. Spotify moving to Google Cloud Platform was awesome. The way our team was involved with them so they could get all the infrastructure together to make sure it was a successful movement, it was great. And also all the things that they published. They wrote a bunch of blog posts, and there's one of my favorite things was Paul Lamir, whatever. He tweeted something saying, Google's BigQuery is the bomb. I can start with 2.2 billion things and compute summarized down to 20K in less than 1 minute. And I think that the fact that someone calls one of your products the bomb, surrounded by asterisks, that is pretty awesome.
Very good. Yep. Goal for 2017?
Get more the bombs.
Well, there's that, but have Spotify on the podcast.
Oh, yes. If you're listening to us and you work for Spotify, hello, friend.
Hello.
We want to interview you. That was I think that was a huge thing that happened. I'm so happy about it.
You're so happy about it?
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm going to talk about another thing which I love because so often this is just interesting and quirky and interesting. The amount of stuff that happened around like the big data and machine learning stuff.
Yep.
That's super cool. We had a variety of open data sets that got released. The Open Images data set, geospatial data sets. We released the Cloud Natural Language API, the Speech API.
Vision API is also there, I guess. I guess it was right before, but many APIs.
So many APIs. And I love the articles and the stuff that came out of it. The discussion of micro moments of baseball. Can you hear the game through data? I thought was really interesting. And by far my favorite is basically the Japanese cucumber farmer who is using TensorFlow to manage his crops, which is phenomenal.
It is such an amazing... I mean, the fact that you get to talk about cucumbers at the Google Cloud Platform podcast. It is kind of amazing.
Yeah, like that, I think it just goes to show the wide variety of things that are possible, once you have the capabilities at your fingertips.
Oh, yeah.
So it just blows my mind.
And I guess it's time for my last one. And I guess it's not surprising because I've been playing, not as much as you, but it is about Pokemon Go.
Woo!
And Pokemon Go, I think it was a great story. It was an intense story. We can say that.
Yeah.
But
the hype was real.
If we take into account that Container Engine was generally available, we announced it in August 26 in 2015.
Yep.
And a little bit later on, I think it was in June, something like that, all of a sudden, Pokemon Go is released. And it's running on Kubernetes. And not only it's running on Kubernetes, but it actually grows to, on GKE.
Yeah.
It grows to be the biggest cluster ever. It's like huge. And not only that, but on top of that, they're like happy about it. And from the experience, we created this new team, CRE, Customer Reliability Engineering, which I think it's a great thing to say, SREs are cool, but why don't you get access to them as a client? So let's create a Customer Reliability Engineering, which I think is great. There's a blog post about it. It was very good. And then also lots of people were running on GKE. I think that we interviewed Tim Kelton from the Carters Lab, and I thought that was pretty amazing. And they were talking about how they were running their whole thing on Kubernetes and accessing Bigtable, which is like how Googlers do it, right? It is pretty much the experience.
It's like Google for everyone else.
Yeah,
which is great.
I'm very happy about the whole thing, about GKE growing so fast and people getting so excited, and Pokemon Go basically exploding in popularity. And still being successful. So I'm very, very, very happy with that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. The velocity of Kubernetes and GKE has not slowed down in the slightest.
Oh yeah, it's
which
crazy.
is amazingly and crazy. And basically, Pokemon Go served everybody?
Yeah.
Just everybody.
It is pretty amazing.
Cool. All right. So my final one, I just want to highlight it because it was something I helped create and it made me feel very special and I love what's going on there. The Google Cloud Platform Community Slack team, Slack community there, that has grown into such a wonderful community. I'm genuinely proud of it because sometimes I just sit back and I watch it and I watch the people in the community of the Google Cloud Platform groups just interact with each other, be nice to each other, help each other out, really just kind of be there for each other, which I think is just a delightful thing.
Yeah, and I guess we deserve we owe a shout out to the podcast channel in the community. They're amazing. I think it's pretty cool to get so many questions of the week and cool. We don't get that many cool things of the week from them. They should send them too.
Yeah, we definitely get questions of the week from various people.
We get questions of the week, and they're they help us so much.
Yeah. Absolutely. So just a huge fan. If you're not in the Slack channel, check it out. Everyone there is really lovely. And there's lots and lots of people there looking to help other people out with what they do and how they're building stuff on Google Cloud Platform. It's super cool.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice way to finish the episode, thanking the whole community and for being there, and thanking all our audience.
Yeah,
I think that we got a crazy amount of audience over this year, to the point that we decided not to take a break in summer, but we're definitely taking a break now because we deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I just want to second that. Everyone who's listened to us, we love you. It's been a great year of growth for us, and we're super happy about the podcast, and we have huge things planned for the upcoming year.
Yep.
I will definitely say, though, if you want to put in the comments, put in the podcast thing, put in Reddit, reach out to us on Twitter or whatever. Tell us your favorite episodes. Tell us your favorite cool things. We'd love to hear, like, what were your favorite moments, either on the podcast or like cool things that happened to Google Cloud. We would love to hear that back from you.
And if you want to send those as audio,
we're
always trying to make that a thing where we get some of the audience talking to us directly. That'd be fun. So I don't know how you're gonna do that. Maybe on Twitter, or just post it on SoundCloud or whatever.
You can put it on SoundCloud. You can put a file on Dropbox or Google Drive or anything. Just send us the link. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. So I guess that it is time to say goodbye until January 18th.
Yep.
And would you like to share your plans until then?
I'll be around San Francisco, just, having a nice vacation and getting ready for the craziness that is next year.
Yes.
Yes.
And you said the magic word in there, next.
Yeah. So next year, there are details on that live already. So you can go to the website. You can buy tickets right now. Also making plans personally for the Game Developer Conference here in San Francisco. Nice. I know you have a variety of events as well.
Oh, yeah. So I'll be coming back. Actually, by the time we publish the next episode, I'll be back to Europe.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm going to Europe for Christmas. And then I'll be back there for GoLab.io in Italy. Then I go to FOSDEM in Brussels at the beginning of February. So, yeah. And after that, India for GopherCon. And after that, next. Fun.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, sounds like lots of fun.
Sounds like lots of fun. All right, then, Francesc. Well, thank you to you for joining me for yet another week.
Thank you for joining me for a whole year.
Yeah, and I guess I won't speak to you next week.
No, yay.
All right, then. Well, then I will see you next year.
See you all next year.